Good morning everyone, my name is Nasser Carstens and I cover consumer discretionary stocks for PSG Wealth. Today we're going to have a look at the Mr. Price EIA, starting off with the executive summary. First of all, our event impact and assessment with our third quarter of 22 trading update. We had fairly good results off of a fairly high base. In terms of our macro factors, we deem interest rates, total income and inflation to be our three main contributing factors. For interest rates, we are currently hiking from a low base. However, historical analysis shows that it has not been decisive. Total income, we forecast at 8.5% for 2022, and we see this to be the overriding and dominant factor. In terms of inflation, we're seeing all inflation increase and accelerate. However, this should come in below income growth in absolute terms. In terms of valuation, we have an intrinsic value of 245 Rand, which implies a 14.5% upside, and we rate the stock as a buy. And what would change our mind? Income growth in this case as our core macro factor would definitely change our view on the stock. Right, so we had our trading update. As we said, we had fairly strong results off of a already high base. Despite the very low consumer confidence over the past year or so, the defensive nature of the business really came through and provided solid earnings growth. The Yuppiechef and Power Fashion acquisitions did contribute meaningfully. For the sales number excluding Yuppiechef and Power Fashion is significantly lower than the inclusive number. The Power Fashion acquisition also improves the defensive scope of the business. For our macroeconomic factors, we estimate that total income will be the prime determinant going into the next year, as it will likely outpace inflation, which would then provide headspace for clothing and further consumer discretionary expenditure. So these are graphs to show you. On the top graph interest rate cuts and hikes over the past 20 years. The green bars you can see cuts and red bars hikes, and in that bottom graph you can see composite index consisting out of Mr. Price, Truworths, Foschini and Woolworths, and you can see that interest rates definitely did have a pronounced impact. However, they weren't the dominantly deciding factor. It's important to note that during those times when we had rate cuts, that you also had aggressive wage growth. Okay, in terms of valuation, our intrinsic value implies a 14.7% upside as at the last close, as of yesterday, the 11th of April, and we rate the stock as a buy. Our buy rating is informed by qualitative and quantitative factors. In terms of qualitative, we see our macro tailwinds, as we discussed, and also the defensive nature of the business in light of the tough economic situation. And then in terms of our quantitative factors, we see significant valuation upside and a strongly positively skewed upside, where we see our bull case represent about a 66% upside, and our bear case represent a 25% downside. As you can see in this graph, the returns are ultimately positively skewed, and this should provide further valuation support. Thank you very much for listening. In order to place a trade, please contact one of your financial advisor or one of your brokers. Thank you.